This trip away with 4 wheels on the road, we've got no time frame. We don't need to be back at any stage. What we're going to be doing is spending about 5 days on the road. We're starting off here on the Saturday. We're headed up to Gatton country. We're going to spend a couple of days up here and then slowly make our way up the coast. Probably stop at Kenilworth, possibly, something like that. Who knows, don't really care. It's not really organised. We're making it up as we go. And what we're going to be doing then is on Monday, meeting up with the rest of the crew at Harry's hut. So let's get into it. Gatton country is located about 2 hours west of Brisbane. As you'll see on the map here, it's very easy to get to, and it's a nice little drive out there. Beautiful drive actually. You may not know from all my other videos that I post, I'm usually on time limits with things, so this trip away it's great to not have a time limit, because you may not know, editing and compiling everything really does take a long time to get the videos out to you guys. I'm happy to do it, I love doing it, but it does take a long time. So we're just going to enjoy chilling out this trip away, which is going to be awesome. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the camping and facilities that are actually here at Gatton country, you'll see a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. We've done a review of this place here before, but this time we're just here for relaxation, so we're spending a couple of days going 4-wheel driving. Alright, so we're going to get straight into it this afternoon. We've just stopped here at Black Cockatoo Camp. This is my favourite campsite and the place that I always stay when I'm here. So we're just going to prep the vehicles now, and we're all going to get going. There's going to be quite a few of us heading out to the 4-wheel drive tracks. So Dean and myself are really looking forward to it. Should be a great day out. You'll see where we are actually located here at Black Cockatoo Camp. We're actually very close to the 4-wheel drive A track, and the place where we're actually going to enter is the playpen. The playpen itself here is actually really good. You've got varying degrees of difficulty on different elements throughout the playpen area, so even if you're a beginner or if you're an advanced person, you can come here and get your confidence up before heading out to other areas in the park. As you'll see here, I'm not taking too difficult a line with anything I'm doing, but I do have 100 kilo strapped onto the roof, so I don't want to do anything too silly. I'm just doing some really easy elements, and just getting used to doing those, and having a little bit of fun while doing so. Alright, so now that we've had a look at the playpen area and all the guys have had a bit of a drive through here, we're going to head off to a different section in the park. You'll see here on the map we're just joining one of the linking roads that go through the park. It's a good thing to be aware of in the park that there can be quite a bit of traffic around the 4-wheel drive trails on the weekends. We were here during school holidays, so it's probably pretty much indicative of what the traffic is like on the weekends. So there can be quite a bit of traffic around the place, so just be aware of that. But the great thing about these tracks is that it's a really lovely drive through here, and the trails themselves actually meander through different parts of the park, and it's all very nice to look at, and actually quite easy to drive as well. So even if you are just a beginner, the A tracks here that we're mostly driving on are really easy for you and won't provide much difficulty at all. So what we're going to do now is just head off to a different section in the park now that we've gone for a bit of a drive through here. We're going to head off to Jordan's Hill, which is a little bit more of a difficult section. As myself and a couple of the other drivers here weren't that skilled and are not really set up for quite difficult four-wheel driving, we're just going up the first part of Jordan's Hill here. It was actually quite a challenge for myself just to do this bit, so it was good pushing the boundaries with what I'm used to and what the truck's used to, so that was actually quite good. For this particular part of the trail in Jordan's Hill is actually divided up into two sections. There's the first bit which you know, is quite easy to do, and the very top part, which you'll see Dean going up now, is really quite difficult. Dean's a little bit more experienced in four-wheel driving than I am, so he's given it a shot, and he didn't quite make it, so there happened to be a couple of people up here who were nice enough to give him a tow out, which is good. Alright, so we're just going to make our way down to the bottom of Jordan's Hill now and just go for a little bit more of a drive around the trails here themselves before we head back to camp. We've been out and about now for a few hours, so what we're going to do is just head back and have a nice little half day of driving. It's been quite entertaining thus far, and it's been quite challenging as well as quite easy, but also we've had a lot of really nice scenery. The trails that are around here are really lovely, and as you can see from the footage here, the area is really nice to look at, so it's a great area just to go for a drive through and take in the scenery. Alright, so we're going to make our way back to camp now and get ready for a big day of four-wheel driving again tomorrow. Alright, well that was a really fun day out today with the crew, four-wheel driving. We're going to turn in for the night now and just relax for a bit, and we'll see you again in the morning. Don't forget, if you're getting some value from this video and my channel, to like, comment, subscribe and also share. It's greatly appreciated. Well, good morning. We're just going to ease into the day today. We've got down to 1 degree last night, so it was very cold. We're just going to have some breakfast firstly and go and grab a shower and warm up before we go and hit the trails again. As you would have seen from the maps, there's loads and loads of trails here, so we don't actually really have a lot of time to go and go for a drive through too many this time around. We're actually going to come up here and go for another trip at another stage and check out the rest of the trail. So the plan for today is just to head up through Playpen and follow the tracks out through Crossroads, and today we're going to be going down Jordan's Hill. So we're just going to be mainly enjoying the drive around today, so we're not really doing too much in terms of going and exploring. As you'll see from the sign here, these are extreme tracks, so it's something that's not recommended to do by yourself. It's recommended to have another vehicle with you. We actually had another vehicle with us just in case. So the camera actually doesn't do this section justice at all. It's a lot steeper than it looks. At any rate, we had a great day out here and it's inspired us to come back again. We're just stopping here at Playpen on the way out after coming down the loop. Dean's just having a go at a couple of the more difficult elements here. Alright, well I hope you've enjoyed exploring the trails here at Gordon Country with us. We've had a great couple of days away. It's been really fun exploring just one very small part of a really large trail system. We're going to come back here again and have a look at the trails again another time, so I'll upload a video the next time we're out here and we can give you a bit better of a look at the rest of the trails that are available here. Don't forget, if you're getting some value from this video and my channel, to like, comment, subscribe and also share. It's greatly appreciated. Alright, well it's time to say goodbye to Gordon Country. It's lunchtime here on a Sunday. So we're going to make our way northward now. I'm not really sure plan wise what we're doing yet. We're just going. So we're just going to head north by the inland road and through Laura to start with, and then we'll see where we get to from there. As I said yesterday, we may end up somewhere around Kenilworth this evening, we'll see. Alright, well Dean and I have just had a quick chat on the radio and we've decided that we're going to stop at Gatton for lunch. As I mentioned, we only left at lunchtime, so we're going to try and get as many Ks as we can done today. We wanted to try and make our way up to Kenilworth tonight, so it's a long drive and there's a lot of Ks to be done. As you'll see on the map here, we've got an hour and a half up to Gatton before we get back on the road and do the last 2.5 hour drive up to Kenilworth, and we're going to stop overnight at the showgrounds there and get going in the morning for the last stint, which is off to Harry's Hut. We're just driving out to Elora now, and then we're going to make our way up probably to Gatton and have some lunch up there and just catch up on a few things, jump online to a few things, and then this afternoon make the rest of the drive to Kenilworth. Alright, well now that we've refueled and had some lunch at the Gatton pub, fantastic lunch by the way, we're going to get going and head off to Kenilworth and try and get up there before the sun goes down. Alright, well now that we've stopped and refueled at Gatton, we're going to do the last stint of our journey and get up to Kenilworth Showgrounds. It's a beautiful drive along here. It's been a magnificent drive the whole way. The main focus that I tried to keep in mind the whole way when we were deciding on where we were going to drive and which way we were going to take was that we were going to take the inland route. I said to Dean that we should take this way because it's the most beautiful drive, and even though it is a little bit longer, it really is worth it. Magnificent drive. There's a lot of beautiful scenery and really worth your while to take this drive. You've got all facets. You've got farmland, you've got rainforests, cattle properties, you've got everything. So it's a really beautiful journey along and well worth your time. So we're just down the range here now after Malani. Probably going to pull into Kenilworth about 5 o'clock. Just enough time to set up, and I don't think we're going to cook dinner tonight. Just going to go to the pub, be lazy, because we've had a really long day of driving today and we went forward driving for a few hours this morning as well, so it's been a hell of a long day. So I think we're just going to chill out this evening. Nice early night to bed, and that'll do us, and then we'll be getting up nice and early and doing the last part of the journey up to Harry's Hut. I love camping here at the Kenilworth Showgrounds. I stop here quite often. It's generally a place I come to if I'm just sort of looking for a quick overnight stay and I just want to get a hot shower and not looking to cook dinner, because you can actually walk to the pub in just under a minute, really close by, and as you can see here you've still got a really nice area to camp in, so it's a place I often come to and it's a place I definitely recommend as well. Well, our magnificent drive continues now that we've headed off from Kenilworth. We're going to make our way up to Gympie this morning and stop in there and refresh and refuel and get some more food before we head out to Harry's Hut. We've jumped on the radio and got in contact with Wes, who happened to be up and travelling at the same time as we were, which we'd organised previously. So we're going to stop and meet him just on the turn off to Harry's Hut, and we're all going to drive in together, myself, Dean and Wes. Harry's Hut is located about 2.5 hours north of Brisbane and about an hour from Pomona. The last 20 odd kilometres of the road into Harry's Hut is gravel and quite rutted out, so a 4-wheel drive is generally recommended. Our main focus is to check out the kayaking here at Harry's Hut, and we're also going to take a quick look at the kayak only campsites that are further up the Noosa River. Alright, well, let's get on the road and check it out. Alright, well, we are here at the meeting point.
You can't put anything in there, it's like grrr.
And we've got a couple of special guests. Please welcome Dean and Wesley into the picture. Come along, Dean, come along, Wes. How are we, team?
We're fantastic.
Beer o'clock, I think.
It's beer o'clock and we're ready to put the boat in, do a bit of bass fishing out at Harry's Hut.
I love it.
That's the way. We got the band back together and we're going camping.
Roger that. Don't forget, if you're getting some value from this video and my channel, to drop a like with the button below, leave a comment, subscribe and also share the channel as well. Alright, well, now that we've arrived on site, we're just going to quickly grab some lunch, and a couple of the boys are going to head off in one of the boats and go for a bit of a motor up the river. That'll give me some time to have a bit of a look around the site and do my review of the campsites that are available here, and also go and get the kayak in and take a look at the kayaking spots up the river. So this is the top camping area up here. I mean, even now when it's school holidays, this area still has only one tent in it. There's about 5 different camping areas around this here, so there's always plenty of space up here, which is always a good thing. It's a lovely area, and if you haven't been here before, I definitely recommend it. I have, as I mentioned before, done a video on this particular neck of the woods previously, but I just wanted to do a focus this time around just specifically on the kayaking up here. So that's what we're having a look at this weekend as well. As you can see here, there's plenty of information available on site with regards to the various trails and campsites that are set up at Harry's Hut. The first area we're looking at here is the main launch area. You've got a really big car park and it's really well set up and quite easy to get into the water here. The main kayak launch point is at the beginning of the site itself, and there are further points that are available, as you would have seen in the map, further up towards the campsites. Each of the campsites has basically got its own shared access to the water, and as you can see here, the access down to the water is really great. Alright, well I think it's time we get on the water and go for a paddle now. Let's get into it. What we're going to be doing now is heading upstream. First place we're going to take a look at is just across the river, where you actually have access to the walking tracks that go northward. As you'll see in the maps here again, you can walk towards camping access and campsites that are available all the way up to Rainbow Beach, or you can walk to the walk-in or kayak-in only sites, which is campsite 1 through 5, but those are quite a way up the river. Okay, so what we're going to do now is get back on the water and start the long journey up to campsite number 1, but it's a fair journey up there on the water. The great thing about all of these campsites along the way here is they've got really great access to the water, and they're really well suited to people who kayaks. So we've just pulled in now to campsite number 1. There's toilets here on site, which is good. And the best thing about this particular site is that it's super isolated. So if you're looking for a nice quiet couple of days away with the kayak, and if you wanted to camp, campsite number 1 through to 5 would be some great option for you. I assume from this site number 1 here that the other sites up through to number 5 also have facilities in toilets available. You can see here it's set amongst some beautiful bushland. This is the first time I've been up here, so it's a new experience for me, but it's a really nice little area. Got plenty of walking tracks around, and you can go over to Tiwa or even down to Lake Atharaba if you're looking for something like that to do. If you are really looking for some privacy and some peace and quiet, you can head off up the Noosa River just after campsite number 5. There's a certain point where electric motors only and kayaks are allowed up the rest of the river. So if you're looking for a nice quiet place to camp with your kayak, and if you've got a little bit more time and are looking for a really long paddle, the campsites right up the top of the map might be a really great option for you as well. Alright, well that's it for us taking a look at the kayaking and camping facilities. We're going to head back to camp now. So we had a really lovely 4 days away up here. Unfortunately, on the last night up here for us it rained for most of the night and for most of the day the next day, so we just decided to get going later on in the afternoon because the rain looked like it was going to be staying around for a while. But we had a great time away with the lads, and I got some kayaking in and the boys got to go for a bit of a spin in the boat and do some fishing, which they enjoyed. So it's been a really great 4 days away. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly share the channel. I greatly appreciate it. We'll see you next time we get 4 wheels on the road.